He's been a member of the CIA. He's been a member of Congress. He was the Texas A&M student body president. He's also from San Antonio and a graduate of Marshall High School. Will Hurd is a newly announced presidential candidate. He's spending a lot of his time, obviously, on the campaign trail. A little break home here for the next couple days or next few hours.
About 6 hours, yeah.
Why did you decide to get into this race?
Look, it's real simple. I think we're facing a number of generational defining challenges that aren't being addressed. I've seen our enemies up close and personal, whether it was in the CIA, in Congress, or now in business, working with cutting edge technologies. The Chinese government is trying to surpass us as a global superpower. Everybody should care, because if we lose our role in the world, that's going to impact our dollar. That's going to impact our ability to have good paying jobs. It's going to impact our retirements, right? We're dealing with persistent inflation at a time that new technologies like artificial intelligence is going to upend every industry. Not in 10 years, in like 2 or 3 years. We got to be ready for these. And we've recently seen our kids, their grades in math, science, and reading. It's the worst they've been in this century. These are problems that need to be addressed. And I don't think we have enough people in the Republican primary that are talking about these issues. Oh, and by the way, something I learned here in San Antonio, we're better together, right? San Antonio works because we all work together. And when we can solve all these problems and make sure this century stays the American century if we do it together.
You say there's not enough people talking about it, but there's already a long list of people in this race, more than a dozen others. It seems like now in a campaign, once you announce, there is no time to waste. So how do you make yourself stand out in this crowded field that includes the former president?
Well, it's okay to say it. I'm a dark horse candidate, right? And just like nobody thought when I moved back to San Antonio that a black Republican could win in a 72% Latino district, I did it because I showed up and talked about issues people care about. When I get asked questions, folks want to know about how are they going to be able to put food on their table, a roof over their head, or take care of the people that are healthy, happy, take care of their loved ones and make sure they're healthy and happy. Here's the thing. I'm also not afraid to talk about Donald Trump, right? Yes, he's leading in some of the polls, but as we know since at least 2016, that polls don't always reflect what happens on Election Day. And let's talk about real issues. I'm the only Republican that's talking about things like gun violence in our schools. The thoughts and prayers are not enough to address those issues, but I'm putting those issues out. And so you show up, you talk to people that don't expect to see you. That's how you make an impact. We got 26 weeks to go. Or actually, our next big goal is to get 40,000 unique donors in order to get on to meet the requirements to be on the debate stage. I need everybody here in San Antonio to go to hurdforamerica.com and give at least $1. And I can make a promise. If I get to the White House, breakfast tacos in the morning, margaritas at night. And in 2024, when we win the NBA championship, because we got Wemby now and Coach Pop coming back, I'll bring the beast. That's the car the president drives around, and I'll be honking down Commerce Street.
All right. All right.
The mayor may not like that.
I'm going to hold you to that one. But so you talked about the fact that you were talking about things that other people aren't talking about. I remember when you ran for Congress. I remember you were close. Then you got there. Then you did something called DC to DQ, where you went to every Dairy Queen in your district, year after year after year. Is that a strategy that you plan on using? Can you use that strategy when you're running for something like President of the United States?
You can, because the reality about running for president is that it's not one election, it's 50 elections. And one of the most important ones is the first primary. That's New Hampshire. And Granite Staters, here's what I've learned being up there a couple times already, having only been in the race about 3 weeks. They want to see and talk to people. And guess what? It's 1/5 the size of my old congressional district, right? Back when I was in the 23rd, it took 10 hours to drive across the district. I went to a town that was at the very northern tip of New Hampshire. It was like 2.5 hours. I was like, this is like going to lunch sometimes, And so yes, it can work, but it requires talking about these issues that people care about. It requires us to not be afraid to call a spade, and guess what? Here's what the American people want. They want someone who has a vision for the future, not someone who's complaining about the past. They want people that are going to make sure we have unprecedented peace, make sure that we have a world-class education for our kids, regardless of their age or their location. And that's the message that we're taking. And when only 23% of the country is voting in primaries, when 6 out of 10 Americans do not want Joe Biden on the ballot and 7 out of 10 don't want Donald Trump, nobody wants that rematch. And so they're looking for something new, something fresh, and we're going to take it to them.
I want to ask you about the border. As somebody who served a district that stretches from San Antonio to El Paso, you are from South Texas. It's an issue that we have seen continue, that Texans are directly impacted by, and we look to the federal government to address. What do you think needs to be done?
4 counties today along the border just, made a declaration that they're being invaded. Our counties wouldn't have to do that if the federal government did their job. And here's the real simple fact. Last year, 2.5 million people that we know of came into the country illegally. When you look at each one of them paid, on average, about $10,000 to be smuggled, that's $25 billion. Going to human smugglers. So number one, let's treat these smuggling organizations like the national intelligence priority they are and dismantle them. 2, we have to stop treating everybody that comes into our country illegally in between our points of entry as an asylum seeker. This is a policy that started on Donald Trump and became worse under Joe Biden. And then we also have to address the root causes in places like El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras. Right now, we are having illegal immigration coming from everywhere. But historically, it's been from that northern triangle, those 3 countries. And it's a fraction of the cost to use our foreign aid to address issues like extreme violence, poverty, and lack of economic opportunities in those countries before they come here. And here's what I'm also seeing. The northern border is starting to become a problem. The volume is nowhere near what we see on the south, but the amount of fentanyl that's coming from China, going into Canada, and coming into the United States through our northern border is becoming a problem. And we need people that are like, again, some of the people I'm running against. They talk a big game, but they weren't able to actually do anything. We need people that have real understanding of this problem and know how to fix it on day one.
You talk about things like the border and gun control and things that maybe aren't always talked about in a Republican primary. I want to ask you a personal question. I mean, when you make a decision that's as monumental as I'm going to put myself out there and run for president of the United States, what goes into that decision? I mean, you're newly married, your family is here. I mean, what goes into that decision? And was there a moment where you said, okay, we're going to do this?
Look, I'm lucky that I'm the baby of 3, right? And, my mother and father are people that always supported me and always gave me the tools to do things hard. And my family and my wife have always been super supportive. My wife, Lindley, is always like, Will, I've seen you do things that folks didn't think you can do. And this is what the country needs. And so the question you ask yourself is there a pathway to victory? Right? Look, I'm a classically trained engineer. I've been studying this problem, and yes, there is a pathway for victory to someone like me who's going to be undercapitalized and who probably, doesn't have as much name ID as some of the other people in the race. And so when you understand the strategy and you have some idea on the tactics, the question is, do we have the resolve to see this through the end? And my wife is supportive, my family and friends are supportive, all the Aggie Nation and everybody from John Marshall, all the Rams have been coming out, and they've been going to hurdforamerica.com and giving that $1. But the reality is, for me, I've been fortunate to have some amazing experiences, and this is my responsibility to give back to my country, because I want to ensure that we give a country to our kids that's better than the one that we got. And so yeah, and then also talk about having fun. Here's the reality. I'm going to say it like it is. I've always been that way. And so I don't have to, twist myself into a pretzel to answer these questions. And I'm just going to tell people why I'm doing things. And that's already resonating in places like New Hampshire and Iowa and around the country.
Will Hurd hitting the campaign trail in a matter of hours, I believe. Former congressman running for president, a San Antonian. Thanks so much for sharing some time with us.
Thanks for having me on.
Always appreciate having you. Thank you, Will. We'll be right back.
Let's take another look outside with live cam. We've got some chances of rain to talk about. I know, Adam, you said it's not much, but hey, it's something.
In July, even something, even just a little chance is something to get excited about. You can squeeze a few raindrops out of our clouds in July. That's considered a win around here. I'm also going to show you the latest satellite imagery that really indicates where the wildfire smoke is in the air coming in from Canada and the forecast of where it's going, along with trimming back temperatures a little bit and that glimmer of hope for rain in just a bit.
All right, we got heat to deal with, but also smoke. That's still an issue for us.
It is. Yeah, not so much for us as it is other parts of the U.S. and a good chunk of the lower 48 actually experiencing that wildfire smoke. So we've been fortunate because of the heat high steering that smoke away from us, that we really haven't had much of that overhead. And dust really isn't a factor right now either from Africa. But let's take a look at the satellite imagery. And you notice that milky white color, not the clouds, but that tint in the southeastern U.S. I'll give you some context here. San Antonio and, of course, Texas. But you see all along the central and eastern United States, even down into Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, that little white tint, that's that smoke in the air from the Canadian wildfires. And the forecast pushes it all eastward out to sea and starts to limit its push down into the U.S. here over the coming days later on this week. It's going to stay away from us, and it's going to start to thin out for other folks, especially along the East Coast and Southeast that are having some air quality issues. Around here, we just have the heat. El Paso, 106, San Angelo, 105, here in town at San Antonio, 102, the current temperature. But there is some cooler air out there, and that's off to the north. We talked about this a little bit on Friday, that even Saturday night, you head to Minneapolis, 74, 75 Bismarck, Omaha, Nebraska, 76, where the average high is 88. So there is a little cool pool up to the north of cooler than average temperatures. We have the heat high, they have the cool low in Ontario and parts of the Great Lakes and upper Midwest. Our heat high is going to still be influencing our weather, but it will modify in the days ahead, especially by this weekend. Still going to be pressing down on us a little bit, but notice it's not going to be centered right overhead. This is important because around the edges of that high, you can get little ridge riders, and it opens the door for some disturbances to move overhead and maybe even kick off some showers and storms. We'll also have a little bit of instability that could help kick off a shower or storm. It's nothing to get excited about, but at least it's a change. And even a subtle shift in July is a win in my book. Saturday, 10% chance. Sunday, a 20% chance of an afternoon storm. And then Monday, we're at a 10% chance. So just cross your fingers and we'll see if we can modify these rain chances in the days ahead. We'll keep you updated on any changes. We could use every drop. Look at the drought monitor, and that drought is starting to spread from the hill country. It's spreading outward a little bit, and that's the worst part of Texas when it comes to drought. In our hill country, where we have this red area, that's the extreme and exceptional drought, and it really is the exception for the state, unfortunately. 78 degrees at 7 a.m. tomorrow. 104 the high temperature. We'll hit that around 4 or 5 p.m. And the heat index, I don't think is going to be a big issue. It's going to feel like the actual air temperature tomorrow afternoon. 100 Helotes, 104 in Converse, Elmendorf, Von Army, 105 the high. We'll have a lot of sunshine, but by this weekend, with that little shift in our pattern, that subtle shift, I do think we'll have a little more variety to the sky and maybe some puffy cumulus clouds in the afternoon, briefly providing some natural shade from time to time. And by the way, tomorrow we're expecting to tie the record high of 104.
And a brief distraction from the heat.
Yep, exactly.
We need all the distractions we can get, right? The Buzz coming up next.
In the Buzz today, all of us here in San Antonio and in some parts of the U.S. as well, dealing with extreme heat. But in Phoenix, there have been 17 straight days of 110-degree plus weather. So pizza. County officials wanted to show people just how hot it really is.
Yeah, Department of Emergency Management officials in Maricopa County put together a pizza, put it on a dashboard to see how long it would take to cook. Within 10 minutes, the cheese already melting, and in just 90 minutes, that pizza was fully cooked.
Jeez.
Pepperonis and all. All right, an unusual call for Mississippi deputies. The Forest County Sheriff's Office got a call yesterday for a camel on the loose.
Clyde, the camel, lives on a farm with bison and zebras there, but he was found strolling outside of his fence. Clyde appeared to be really interested in the deputy's hat, so they used that to lead him back to his enclosure.
Can you imagine? Just a camel walking down the road.
No,
Yeah.
back to his bison friends.
Yep. Have to put up some speed humps.
Be right back.
I'll be right back.
On Thursday, KSAT community partners are coming together for Project Mend. It's an organization that collects and refurbishes medical equipment. KSAT will host a phone bank to collect financial donations to buy more wheelchairs. That's the most requested and needed piece of equipment. That phone bank will be Thursday from noon to 2 p.m. and from 5 to 10:30 p.m. For more information, check out ksatcommunity.com.
Adam.
Back around 104 across San Antonio, give or take a degree or two around town. But we're going to feel the heat and then subtle changes this weekend. A tiny chance of rain.
All right. Thanks for watching.